PhD students spend 4 years memorizing theories they'll never use. Professors who've never built a company teaching entrepreneurship. Researchers who've never written a line of production code teaching programming. Meanwhile, Elon Musk taught himself rocket science from textbooks. Abraham Lincoln never attended law school. Richard Branson dropped out at 16. The greatest learners in history didn't beat the system. They ignored it entirely. And it worked because they knew 3 things universities will never teach you. I'm about to show you exactly what they are. And by the end of this, you'll never approach learning the same way again. Chapter 1, Skin in the Game. PhD students study theory. Autodidacts study survival. That's the entire difference. Nobody tells you this, but it's the whole game. A PhD student learns marketing from a professor who published papers about marketing, but never ran an ad campaign in their life. An autodidact learns marketing because they're broke and need to sell something by Friday. One has stakes, one doesn't. Guess who learns faster? Nassim Taleb calls this skin in the game. When you have something real to lose, your brain treats information differently. It flags it as critical. It encodes it permanently. It refuses to let you forget. The University of Rochester proved this. Students who needed information to complete a real task retained 40% more than students studying the same material for an exam. 40%. Because one group had consequences, the other had grades. Grades are fake. Markets are real. Autodidacts manufacture consequences. They don't just read about coding. They build something and ship it publicly. They don't just study investing. They put real money in. The fear of public failure, the dopamine of actual results. These neurochemicals are the most powerful study drug ever invented. Schools can't give you that. They give you grades. Grades are participation trophies for memorization. They mean nothing. Richard Feynman, Nobel Prize winner in physics, called this the fake knowing problem. Most students think they understand something because they can recite it. They can't. They've memorized words. They haven't understood anything. You only know something when you can use it under pressure with real stakes attached. Autodidacts live there. Degree holders visit once for the exam, then forget everything by summer. But here's the problem, though. Stakes alone aren't enough. You can have all the pressure in the world and still learn the wrong things. That's where the second advantage comes in. Chapter 2. The curriculum is a cage. Schools give you a curriculum. Looks like a gift. It isn't. It's a prison. You follow it. You learn things in a predetermined order, decided by someone who doesn't know you, doesn't know your goals, doesn't know what you actually need. You have zero choice. Autodidacts build their own. And this is the secret nobody talks about. The Pareto principle. 20% of any field produces 80% of the results. Most university curricula teach you 100% of the field, which means you spend 80% of your time on things that will never matter for your actual goals. Schools can't fix this. They have to teach everyone the same thing, but you are not everyone. Autodidacts ask one question first. What is the absolute minimum I need to know to get a real result? Then they hunt only that. Everything else is noise. They ignore it ruthlessly. No electives, no prerequisites, no filler modules designed to justify tuition. Josh Kaufman proved this. You don't need 10,000 hours to learn a new skill. You need 20 focused hours on the critical 20%. He learned ukulele, programming, and windsurfing to functional competence in 20 hours each. Not 4 years. 20 hours. Because he cut everything else out. Hit subscribe before you forget this. One more left, and it's the one that changes everything. The other thing autodidacts do is steal across disciplines. Charlie Munger reads psychology, physics, biology, and history, not to become an expert in each, but to steal the most powerful mental models from all of them. Most experts are deep in one lane. Autodidacts are wide across many. And width destroys depth for real-world problem solving. Every time. But here's the problem, though. You can have stakes. You can have the right 20%. And you'll still forget everything if you skip Chapter 3. Chapter 3. The feedback loop that makes forgetting impossible. Schools give you feedback once. At the end. You study for weeks. You sit an exam. You find out what you got wrong after it's too late to matter. Then you forget everything over summer. Idiots design this system. Autodidacts build feedback loops in real time. They test constantly. They publish work publicly and watch what happens. They try the skill and see if it actually works. Immediate feedback, immediate correction, no wasted weeks studying the wrong approach. Robert Bjork at UCLA calls this desirable difficulty. When you're forced to retrieve information under conditions of real uncertainty, your brain strengthens the memory pathway permanently. The struggle is the learning. If studying feels easy, your brain is not working. If it feels like your brain is sweating, it's encoding. Seek the resistance. Schools remove it. That's why school produces graduates who can pass tests but can't solve problems. Autodidacts also teach what they know immediately. Feynman made this a personal rule. If you cannot explain something simply, you do not understand it yet. Go back. Find the gap. Fill the gap. Explaining forces your brain to reorganize everything. Gaps become visible instantly. You plug them. You actually learn. Here's the hard truth. Most degree holders cannot explain what they studied to a non-expert because they memorized answers to predictable questions. They did not build real understanding. There is a massive difference between those two things. One gets you a certificate, the other gets you results. Here's the final problem, though. You can have stakes, the right curriculum, and real feedback loops. But if your environment is destroying your focus, you're learning at 20% capacity. And that's exactly why I made this video breaking down the one environment trick that forces your brain into deep focus automatically, even if you have ADHD. It's almost unfair. Watch it next.